This is a computer I put together with a mix of second-hand and brand new parts. It's a great way to save money while getting solid performance. My total cost, around $400. Now some of the parts are older. The CPU alone is 7 years old, but don't click away just yet. As you'll see in the benchmarks, this thing still holds its own. In games like Valorant, Fortnite, and CS2, you can expect anywhere from 100 to over 200 FPS, depending on your settings. Even in more demanding titles like Cyberpunk, it manages 60 to 100 plus FPS. In this video, I'll be breaking down every part I used, the exact prices I paid, then we will take a closer look at the gaming performance so you can decide if a build like this would be worth it for you or not. I would like to thank Jawwood.gg for being the sponsor of today's video. If you're looking to build a new computer or even buy a pre-built, Jawwood is definitely a great marketplace to check out. They are an online marketplace for people like you and I to be able to buy and sell new or old gaming gear. There's people selling individual components that they might have upgraded from, so you can find a good deal on them. But the main thing is their fully built, ready to go custom PC category I actually sell on there too. There's always good deals to be found. A lot of people are listing new PCs. If you want to build an affordable computer or buy a pre-built, check out Jawwood with the links below. And for new customers, use my code ElijahsLab10 to save 10% on your first order. Thank you, Jawwood. But now, let's get back to this video. Starting this build a little backwards, I actually unboxed the power supply first. I bought this high power 650 watt. I'm pretty sure it's an older model because it doesn't have a certification badge, but looking it up, it is 80 plus gold. It didn't come with a power cord, but I picked this up on eBay for only $27.30. After adding a power cord for like $1, this was still a great buy. Next up, the package I should have opened first, a CPU, motherboard, and RAM combo I bought off of eBay. After taxes and shipping, it came out to $61.91. Not bad for what I bought, and the seller even threw in a small discount. And before moving on, I know this won't be your typical budget build that you see on YouTube, so feel free to share any thoughts or anything that you would change about it in the comments. Starting off the combo, we have the MSI B360M Bazooka, nice little micro ATX motherboard, which supports 8th and 9th gen Intel processors. Installed in the socket is the i5-8500. You might know of the i5-8400, well this is about 2% faster. It was when Intel finally made the jump to 6 cores and ditched the 4-core i5. Still doesn't have hyper-threading, but with a boost clock speed of 4.1 gigahertz, it's not completely obsolete. The combo came paired with 16 gigabytes of DDR4. Now the sticks are mixed matched, green eggs and ham type of build going on here, but at least both of the sticks are running at the same frequency of 2666 megahertz. And that is the max the i5-8500 supports. Plus we have 2 open RAM slots for future upgrades. The only thing the combo didn't come with was a cooler. It included the old mounting hardware from the previous cooler, but that's no use to us. I added this Sama L4 P120 tower cooler. I bought a few on sale for $10.86 each. It's your standard 4 copper heat pipe design, more than enough to keep the CPU cool under gaming load. I guess another thing the combo didn't come with was storage, but the board has an open M.2 slot. It's Gen 3, although still much faster than SATA. I picked up a used Intel 1TB M.2 for $43.50. If you want peace of mind, buy new. But if you go used, you can save $10 to $15 and maybe get lucky with someone's old crypto wallet. Like I said earlier, this isn't your typical budget build. In most sub $500 computers, you will find an AM4 Ryzen 5 combo. It's a great option, don't get me wrong. It offers better upgradability to what I bought, but you'll be hard pressed when you look at the cost of going with a Ryzen 5 AM4 build, new and even used. People are pricing them like gold, so that's why I went with this Intel combo. It was a little cheaper, but will still give us solid performance. Another thing to note, don't buy anything older than DDR4. It's already at the end of its life, and avoid the 6th gen Intel processors, the i5s, and even the i7s, they still only have 4 cores. It's really holding them back. I recommend 8th gen Intel or newer, or go with that AM4 combo. That's what I would do for a budget build. Next up is the case. You can buy something less flashy to save even more money, and technically you don't even need a case if you're really on a budget. This one wasn't too expensive. $65.24 is what it cost on Amazon. Came with 4 ARGB fans, 3 in the front, 1 in the back, also a nice PWM fan and ARGB hub built in. The case is the AeroCool D302A. A while ago they made this really budget case. Shout out to anyone who's used it. This white beauty is a nice step up in quality. Building in it was actually pretty easy, good amount of room for cable management. It's a micro ATX case, but more on the chunky side. When I started this build, the GPU still hadn't been delivered, so I honestly had no clue if it would work out, but I unboxed it and at least it was in the package. I bought this PNY RTX 3060. It's a slim 2-fan model, but I did get the one with 12 gigabytes of VRAM. My price was not the best, $203.91 after taxes, but this goes to show you can overpay a little bit, not get insane deals on the parts, but still build something that performs great. But this is it. Build is done. How it looks now would perform great, but I like to resell my computers for a profit, so I had to spice it up a little bit. I added white cable extensions for an extra $9.37 off AliExpress and vinyl wrapped the power supply, which is probably 10 cents out of the roll of vinyl. I think it looks better like this, but man, also the original black and white that we had going on was pretty sweet too. My total cost was $436.17, and if you do more deal hunting, you can get a better price on the GPU and bring the cost down. But for the price I paid, it's pretty good. You won't be playing at 4K, well, maybe at a few frames, but in Red Dead Redemption 2, I tested at 1080p with high settings and DLSS was set to auto. This is an older AAA game, but still looks great, and I'm impressed with the performance that the i5-8500 and RTX 3060 pushed out. The average FPS was 92 with a 1% low of 60. In Cyberpunk, I ran the in-game benchmarking tool with a ray tracing low preset at 1080p. It was with high settings, ray tracing on, we averaged 71 FPS, but switching over to the actual gameplay, the average FPS dropped a little bit, but man, this game looks awesome. Driving around, the FPS was staying stable, but if you dropped from ray tracing low preset to say the medium preset, you will see a nice bump in performance. I averaged 107 FPS with a 1% low of 60. In Marvel Rivals, this computer had no problem whatsoever, and if you look at the recommended and base specs required for this game, our CPU and GPU are basically the middle ground. You can see they recommend an i5 6600K for the base specs in 1st gen Ryzen 5. Avoid the i5 like I said earlier, and 1st gen Ryzen isn't that great either. At least go with the 2000 series. But we ended up averaging 75 FPS with a 1% low of 40 at 1080p with the high settings preset and DLSS set to quality. Now for some easier games. In Fortnite, I tested with the medium preset at DirectX 12 and we averaged 100 FPS right on the dot, but our 1% low was so bad. We had a really bad stutter, but it did level out, just to keep that in mind. Anyways, I wasn't super impressed, more like eh. So I also tested with performance mode enabled and everything on low except the 3D res scale was at 100%. The average FPS jumped a good amount, 200 when you are emoting with a random, but after a full match, the average FPS was 179 with a 1% low of 83. One problem with Fortnite, it's not that optimized. It has a lot of stutters, but we are on a budget PC, so overall, not too bad. A cap at 60 FPS would run really smooth. In CS2, I ran the in-game benchmark with medium settings and we averaged over 200 frames. You can drop to low for even more performance or high settings for better visuals. Following that up with Valorant, it's a very similar game in terms of being able to run on just about anything. I tested at 1080p with medium settings and the average FPS was 281 with a 1% low of 146. In Call of Duty, I ran it at 1080p with the balance settings preset, but I also maxed out the FOV slider. We averaged 109 FPS with a 1% low of 62. I also provided performance breakdown, and we already knew this, but the CPU is holding the system back. For another shooter game, I loaded into the finals. I tested at 1080p with DLSS set to auto, ray tracing set to static, and I used medium settings. The performance was alright. The CPU is once again the limiting factor. We averaged 70 FPS, but the 1% low was 34 due to some stuttering. After seeing the performance, what do you think of it? Leave a comment below. I don't want to just share my opinions. I would love to hear some feedback. I personally think this computer is a great option, but keep in mind, it's about as cheap as I would go. Like I said, I wouldn't go any older than 8th gen Intel. You've seen in the benchmarks, the CPU is already holding us back, but the motherboard can handle a CPU upgrade, so keep that in mind. The great thing about budget PCs is you can really build with whatever deals you come across. This was just an example of what I was able to put together. All the parts are linked down below, also some alternative brand new options. And if you want to see another PC build around the same price range, go ahead and watch the video on the screen right now.